I wanted to share something with you guys, and that something is what Magic used to look like when I was a kid playing this game. Long time ago. God, it had to have been like 20, 25 years ago. Me and my best friend at the time, we went to this shop in the mall called KB Toys. That shop doesn't exist anymore. Most shops like that kind of have faded out in recent memory. But we went there and we happened to find something that we both really wanted. They were pre-constructed tournament decks that pro players were playing at the time. Like the most recent like World Tour or Pro Tour had just happened, and the decks that those people were playing were being sold for like $10 a piece at various retailers. And I remember I bought one and my best friend bought one, and they came with something, and that something was this VHS that I still have. And this VHS is called Road to the 1998 World Championships. It is exceptionally dated. It is very, very old. And I happened to find that someone on YouTube has basically converted it into a data file and put it on for people to enjoy. So what we're going to do today is we are going to watch that video. So what we're going to see here is exceptionally old, exceptionally dated Magic the Gathering gameplay. So this is from 1998. Some of you might not even have been born yet. I mean, hell, just look at that intro. Magic the Gathering tournament. You listen to that intro, it's like, it's very like old MTV.
Is the site for the 5th annual Magic the Gathering U.S. National Championships.
Let me turn that up a little bit.
Competitors are vying for a purse of $58,000 and one of 4 coveted slots to represent the U.S. team at this year's World Championships.
Nationals is the hardest tournament in the world every year.
That person talking right there, that is Mike Long. He was a pretty well-known figure in the Magic scene back in the day until he got basically banned from all constructed professional play for being caught cheating multiple times. I think he got caught like 3 times, and at that 3rd time they said, "You're done, you're out, no more." But his games in this video are pretty good.
This is like the coming out party for all the people that we've never heard of.
There's so many great players that come here and play. You know, there's 200 people in the Nationals. So you work hard.
You get the idea of what the day's going to be like from what's called these meat grinder tournaments. They want to see what came out on top, what decks consistently were doing well, and that forms a lot of the metagame for the next day.
I think that the Wrath Cycle is probably the most interesting draft format that we've used so far.
Tempest Stronghold Exodus draft. I think that black took a big hit.
In Tempest, I think it's interesting that green is usually weak.
Another thing, the format that they're talking about is they're basically playing with cards in Standard that were from the Mirage cycle and into the Tempest cycle. So that's just before the Urza's Saga cycle came into Standard.
Except, interestingly enough, in combination with blue.
When it was just Tempest Stronghold, I like
and
to
they're
get
also
4 or 5.
They're also referring to something that is not talked about anymore either. It's called Type 2. That's what Standard used to be called back in the day before they came up with new names for everything.
Counter Magic. Now I think my mana curve has increased as far as the creatures I'm casting.
The addition of Exodus has just sent the color of white over the top.
Exodus was a good set.
I've got like a total, over the last 3 days, 8 hours sleep or something like that.
I had barely any sleep, and now I'm going to pay for it.
Matt Lindy made it to the finals, who's my little boy. He's got to be the favorite over me.
But if I play Mike,
I
think I have
look at
the
fashion of everyone there, like the hairstyles, the clothes they're wearing.
I don't know, it's
It's
challenging.
an absolute time capsule.
Some of the best people in the world.
It's an experience that can't be described. You have to live it for yourself. So I'll probably just tell my friends to try their best to try to make
that's
it to
true.
nationals next year.
Magic is absolutely
It's been
an experience that
exceptional
you
year
have
for
to
American
play for
players.
yourself.
Unlike previous years, they've taken home the top prize in every major pro tournament. The Windy City, Chicago, welcomed the first Pro Tour featuring the extended constructed format. Newcomer Randy Buehler made a splash debut, defeating veteran competitor David Mills.
No, the top video quality is 480p. It just shows you
Transatlantic
how
hop
old
to
this
Mainz,
is.
Germany was the tour's next stop, where Pro Tour regular Matt Place defeated Stephen O'Mahony Schwartz in a Tempest-only Rochester draft.
Tempest only.
Los Angeles was a chance for another veteran player to take home a victory as king of the qualifiers David Price defeated Ben Rubin in a Tempest-only constructed format. Then the road led to New York City, where yet another Pro Tour staple, John Finkel, proved his mastery of Tempest Stronghold Booster Draft by defeating Dominic Krapischitz. With 6
John
rounds
Finkel
of
was
Tempest
such an
Stronghold Exodus
amazing player
Booster
back in the
Draft
day.
and 6 rounds of standard constructed play, 148 competitors played over 2 grueling days of competition to determine who would make one of the top 8 slots to advance to the finals. It was no surprise that the list of finalists held many of the game's top names. The top seed, from Virginia, Mike Long. From New York, David Price. Also from Virginia, Peter Lyer. From California, Bryce Currents.
Some of these names, like, you'll never
New
hear
Jersey
again.
boy John
But then there's
Finkel.
others that, like, are in, like, the pantheon of
From
pro
Maryland,
players.
Matt Lindy. Floridian Andrew Pacifico.
During Mirrodin, okay, 21 years ago might be a little bit much. 21 years ago, oh Jesus Christ, that was like 2003, wasn't it? Shoot, you might actually be accurate in that. Yeah, this was just a little bit older than that. This was back in 98.
And also from California, Ryan Kelly. With 3 Pro Tour champions, 1 Junior Super Series champion, and 2 former U.S. team members among the ranks, the Final 8 is a very impressive collection of players. 7th seed Andrew Pacifico discovered Magic by chance.
The reason I got started in Magic is because I used to play video games a while back.
Get those cards off the ground,
I
bro.
went to a video game store and I saw the Magic packs. And I was like, hey, what's this? That's how it started.
Get those unsleeved cards
Some of
off
my
the
favorite
concrete,
cards are
please.
Probably Curse Scroll and Ball Lightning. Curse Scroll is an artifact. It's a 1 casting cost artifact that has permanent damage and it's really
Curse
cool.
Scroll was a menace back
Ball
in the
Lightning
day.
is really quick damage.
Such a good card.
It's 3 casting cost for 6 damage and it's just, it helps the speed in the deck. Nationals has been great. There's a lot of competition, a lot of friends, you meet a lot of new people.
Round
This is
1's
such a
first
trip down memory
matchup
lane.
was Pacifico versus Price. Both players had variations of slide decks. The match went lightning fast. In the end, experience won out as David Price, considered by many to be the premier slide
Is that
player, took
3
the match
first scrolls
3
on
games
one
to
side of the
0.
board there?
The second match paired Peter Lyer with newcomer Matt Lindy. The deck pairing was not in Lyer's favor, though, as he was forced to play his Prosperous Bloom deck against its nemesis, the White Weenie deck.
Okay, Prosperous Bloom was an amazing deck. It was such a fun deck to play too. I remember after like watching this the first time way back in the day, I actually went out and bought the stuff necessary to build Cadaverous Bloom and just play it at like my school and playing like at like lunch breaks and whatnot. It was just a really fun deck to play.
Lyer put up a good fight, but was taken down by Lindy 3 games to 1. The third matchup featured Bryce Currents and John
Notice
Finkel.
the lack
Here's
of
Bryce.
sleeves.
This is actually the first time I finished top 8 of any tournament, any major tournament, national championships, pro tour. it's real important for me to gain some recognition, not only in the community, but for myself, because I really want to have a chance. It would be my first world championship. You get a chance to play on the national team at that tournament is something I would really look forward to. I've had nothing but fun for the last 4 years playing this hobby. I hope that I am able to keep playing Magic far, far into the future.
I hope he's still playing to this day.
Everyone else here on the Pro Tour, of all the people that show up, even locally
it's just such
at my
an innocent outlook
tournaments in Los Angeles. So I can't imagine having more fun at this point in my life.
The two had met earlier where Currence's mono green deck had nearly defeated Finkel's mono blue. History would not repeat itself as Finkel easily won the match 3-0. The final matchup paired Pro Tour Paris champ Mike Long against the other newcomer in the top 8, Ryan Kelly. Playing the same prosperous Bloom deck as his teammate Peter Lyer, Long had better luck getting off his combo. He managed to defeat Ryan's mono green deck 3-1. In a modified double elimination tournament, players are not eliminated until they've suffered 2 losses. This means that all 8 players will advance to the second round. In the consolation bracket, 4 competitors fought for the remaining slots on the US
Consolation,
team.
another word for
loss
losers
eliminates
bracket.
them from the tournament. Peter Lyer, 95 U.S. national team member, was paired against Andrew Pacifico. Lyer is no stranger to tournament-level play.
My play style, aggressive, and I'm very into the mental aspect of the game. I believe that sometimes the cards you draw just can't win on their own. And sometimes if you can get into your opponent's head, that can influence the game.
That is absolutely true, and it's absolutely a part of like face-to-face Magic that you can't do over like MTGO or Magic Arena. Like it's the mental game of playing face-to-face against someone is not to be understated.
Usually I like to play an aggressive deck, one that doesn't give my opponent much chance to recover. For this particular tournament, I decreased the amount of counter Magic I like to draft. I include a number of 5-casters now, as before I'd play the smaller, faster creatures. It's addictive. The collectability attracts some people. The competition attracts some people. I think that's why it attracts a wide array of people, and that everyone can enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Peter Lyer was defeated 3-0.
What initially attracted me to the game was the competitive nature of it. Like it was fun to hang out at like lunch breaks and go over to my friend's house and play like kitchen table Magic after school. But once I played my first tournament, like I got the competitive bug that would not let go. Like I was always going to like sealed drafts, just local tournaments, type 2 tournaments. Like once the competitive bug bit me, it did not let go, and it still hasn't let go. Like I love Magic for its competitive nature.
In the other consolation match, Bryce Currents played against Ryan Kelly. Ryan considers himself a player who doesn't create waves, but just likes to have fun.
The thing that I like about Magic, I mean, it's a fun game. You can get away from like regular life. Just like sometimes in summer you're bored, you don't have anything to do. You could always go play Magic somewhere or something.
Yeah.
Well, this is my new favorite card. It's from Exodus. It's called Spike Weaver.
It's a good card. It's a damn good card.
It's a good card, I guess. I mean, in the deck that I played in, it works really well. Every big tournament I played in, I've done all right or I've scrubbed out. I've never like made any good amounts of money or anything. So hopefully I just like keep on qualifying and maybe make money one day. But
look at those pants. Oh my god. That takes me right back to the 90s, the freaking big ass pants. Now, the deck that he's talking about there is a deck that was called Stupid Green, because it would just win games out of nowhere against certain players, and people would say like, "Oh, you got beat by that stupid green deck." And it was an interesting build too. It played like a lot of like really interesting creatures that came into play with counters on them, or it came into play with comes into play effects, and a lot of like interesting like bounce effects to allow you to replay the abilities. His deck was one of the more interesting builds from this entire day of Magic.
I'm having fun. Just keep enough money to maintain Magic and have a good time and go travel and stuff. So that's what I'm just hoping to do, basically.
The difference in the match came down to Currents' sideboard. Currents won the match 3-0.
In the first semifinal are two fast decks, one red, one white. Dave Price is playing his signature deck, Dead Guy Red.
Never let it be said that Mono Red has never not been a menace. Mono Red has always been a menace.
Original Sly focused on mana curve and card flexibility, but Price's deck is simply about doing 20 points of damage. It contains 4 copies of the best cheap red creatures and removal spells, and it has some staying power with Curse Scroll and Hammer of Bogadon. As good as Dead Guy Red and its designer are, this style is probably the most heavily tested concept in contemporary Magic.
Hammer of Bogadon
Newcomer
was a
Matt
good
Lindy's deck is classic White Weenie. It has 2 primary themes, an early rush of quick, efficient creatures backed up by Imperial Armor, and a mid-game reset or lock with Cataclysm. Lindy's deck has 7 perfect sideboard cards, and it is prepared for a top 8 field that includes 2 Prosperous Bloom decks. His deck is fast, flexible, and deadly, and he's got a great chance in this top 4 playoff. Mono Red on Mono White is a classic matchup. Lindy has the advantage, and his Imperial Armor, Encores, and Pro Red creatures are a nightmare for Price's deck. Price's one chance is Curse Scroll. Without it, he can't remove most of Lindy's creatures, and his offense will be paralyzed. But Price is known as the King of Beatdown, and is famous for overcoming adversity.
Okay, we're about to get into our first, actual full match here.
I love the game. It continually challenges me. You know, each big tournament there's different cards that we're allowed to use. So you know, it changes rapidly. So you have to keep on your toes. Well, this one's a mountain. I think it's the best land in the game. But I think in general, all the non-basic lands, they tend to slow down your deck. They usually have drawbacks, and they tend to screw up your game a little bit. But this basic lands allow for the most speed when you're playing your deck. Dwarven Miner. I actually have a few in my sideboard. You can use it to destroy non-basic lands. It's a pretty powerful card. Hopefully I'll make the Nationals team, but in the event that I don't, I'm still going to be at Worlds. I'm gonna be there, trying to do well.
Love the enthusiasm.
We pick up the action as Dave Price and Matt Lindy begin Game 2.
Also a good choice.
Possibly.
It's got a Priest, a Nomad Encore, a Imperial Armor, and a Soltari Monk.
It gives me hives to see those cards without sleeves on them.
Yeah, Soltari Visionary. Price also has a very good draw. Jackal Pup, 2 Jackal Pups,
so
2 Mogfanax, and Ball Lady.
It's a very good draw for Dave.
Yeah, they both have good draws.
Lindy has no anti-red.
No, he does, but he has Nomad Encore and Priest.
Oh, he does have a Priest.
Yeah, the question is, will he wait to play that guy?
But he plays a Nomad. The Nomad's gonna
plays it immediately. You should probably wait.
The Nomad is not gonna make it to the next turn because Dave's gonna cast the Fanatic and the Pup, or he might just Fanatic the Nomad right now, which is what's probably going to happen.
Yeah.
These commentators sound so young.
Pup comes over. What do you think about playing the Nomad before the Priest?
I think it was a poor play. I think looking at his hand, he has just Shadows, and the Nomad backed up by the Priest is an infinite damage
really like
against all the red
Jackal Pup.
creatures.
I mean, if you had another Encore in your hand, I can see it being a decision.
Priest. Now it's just a race. I don't think that the armor can race the hand that. If Price draws one more mountain, he'll be able to outrun Armored Priest easily. Crunch. So Lindy goes down to 14. Price still at 20. What's Price going to play here? He plays. Now, will he play the scroll or hang back with shocks?
That's a tough call. A lot of people say that against White Weenie decks, you shouldn't play the scroll until you can use it. Dave's been.
Oh, he drew Spirit Link. Oh, wow.
Oh
my
boy.
God.
Spirit Link. A card that basically boils down to enchanted creature has lifelink.
That was an unbelievable draw.
Yeah, absolutely perfect draw. Armor up the Priest, Spirit Link it.
The thing is, if Dave draws a mountain, he's dead.
Yeah, if Dave does draw a mountain, he can kill him right now. Actually, no, I think he'll be 1 life short of doing it.
No, he's not. He comes over for...
Oh, he links right now.
Oh, he links him right now. That's probably the safer way to do things.
Okay, he's playing Warrior Encore.
Oh, is that a Warrior Encore?
No,
that's a White Knight. Now Dave has to shock the Knight.
White Knight. Draw a mountain right here. Can Dave win this game if he draws a mountain right here?
No, it only does 11. And that's not a mountain. So Dave Price, I know for a fact, has never faced this before. This is the kind of thing that if I brought it up to him, he would tell me I was ridiculous. There's no way that's going to happen. No one would do this.
Spirit-linked armored priest.
This is unreal. This is the mono red nightmare.
I think that's an Ironclaw Orc.
Armor!
Oh,
Wham!
Destroy
Gain
you.
5. It's pretty hard to race.
Well,
Drain life for 5 every turn.
It's pretty brutal, especially against a red deck.
Drain for 5, drain for 5, drain for 5.
This is pretty unbelievable.
Is there anything that Dave can do? Can he outrace it? Is it possible? Draw a mountain right here? No, that's a wasteland.
Dave is. I mean,
Wasteland's
Dave
good,
could,
but
in theory,
not what he
outrace it.
needs
He's
right
doing
now.
more damage than Lindy's gaining, right? I mean, he could outrace it if he gets the mountain. He's going to get him down
Next
to...
turn, Lindy
he
next
gets
turn,
him
Lindy
down to
gains
9, then he goes back to 14.
He gains 6, yeah. No, he gains 6 next turn.
Oh, he gains 6 next turn. Well...
And then 7, and it's
then
over.
I don't think the math works out then in that case.
Wow, Spirit
Math
Link.
is
one
not
of 2.
mathing.
I could draw another armor or another Spirit Link. A very ineffective curse scroll.
Go ahead.
Draws. Mash. We
No
asked Matt
thinking,
Lindy
just
about
turn.
the deck building process.
You have to take so many things into consideration, like what the field is. You have to beat a deck to beat what other people are playing. It's not just like what cards work well together and everything. Me and my friend worked on the deck for like 4 hours to fine-tune it.
Wow, he can get him to 1.
4 hours. It's a lot of work.
That's not a mountain. So that's not going to do it. But the priest is still not big enough to kill him, right?
Yeah, it is. Next turn it comes through for 7.
6. Oh, 7?
Yeah, he's got 4
Oh,
cards
you're
in
right.
hand
Okay.
now.
Yep, that's game then.
Wow.
Oh, maybe Lindy will disenchant the scroll.
Probably not. We'll see. Obviously, he should not, but that would give Price 1 more turn.
If he doesn't... Oh, he doesn't. So that's the game.
Crank. Tithe.
Tithe. They go larger.
Make it bigger. That's game. Okay, so
That
Lindy
is so
goes up
nasty.
2 games to 0.
Just like a single
The
creature
second semifinal
loaded
is
up with
control versus
enchantments.
combo. Who
is
can be
just
surprised
all you
that
need
Mike
to
Long
beat that
chose to
deck.
pursue his 3rd U.S. team berth with the deck that made him famous, Prosperous Bloom. The goal of the deck is to cast a huge Drain Life using the mana from Cadaverous Bloom. The deck is given explosive speed by squandered resources and natural balance, and its combos are stitched together with Vampiric Tutor and Impulse. Prosperous Bloom has had its ups and downs in standard play, but if anyone can make it work here, it is Mike Long. Current Pro Player of the Year leader John Finkel is playing a mono-blue design he has dubbed Forbidian. Finkel's deck combines the card drawing of Ophidian with the
deck.
buyback Exodus
It's a damn good
counterspell
deck.
Forbid. The remainder of the deck is vintage mono-blue with 9 buybacks and the blue bounce arsenal of Mana War and Tradewind Rider. Forbid has made this deck a real contender, and in the hands of John Finkel, it will be operating at peak efficiency.
This is a pretty good
second-round
game.
match pits
I think
2
you're going to
Pro Tour
like
greats
this.
against each other in a contest of wits and tactics. Mono Blue isn't great against Prosperous Bloom to begin with, and Finkel's version is even weaker because it lacks any real offense. This matchup favors Long, but you can never factor out Finkel, regarded by many as the world's best player.
Imagine being regarded as the best
Mike
Magic
Long is
player.
playing the Cadaverous Bloom Drain Life Prosperity deck, which he, of course, was one of the people who played it at the premier tournament for it, which was Pro Tour Paris, which he was the winner of. John Finkel's playing a mono blue deck, which has been dubbed Forbidian. It's a creature-based control deck.
I think I just saw a City of Brass.
Attempting to abuse the
I did.
Ophidian Forbid combo. Forbid being a buyback counterspell where the buyback cost is discarding cards from your hand. So now Finkel has to decide, is he going to blow a Whispers?
So Long lost an opportunity to meditate. Let's take a closer look at John Finkel.
I'll be happy if I end up making the U.S. national team. Last year I made top 8 and didn't make the team, so obviously it would not be very fun for it to happen again this year. Well, I suppose my favorite card would be a card named Ophidian. It's a blue creature, and I like it because instead of damaging your opponent, it lets you draw cards.
Ophidian was a great
I tend
card.
to play more control-oriented decks which are more.
It was like years later. Finkel got his own card, and his card was Shadow Mage Infiltrator. and it was very closely related to Ophidian. Ophidian was a 1/3 creature that if it dealt damage to the opponent, you could choose to have that damage not be dealt, and instead you draw a card. The Shadow Mage Infiltrator was a 1/3 blue and black creature that whenever it dealt damage to an opponent, you draw a card. So his pro card that Wizards made for him was very closely tied to the card that he played in this deck.
Designed to gain control of the game and then attempt to kill my opponent rather than trying to kill my opponent before he can gain control of the game. I'm hoping that the game will continue to grow as it has. A lot of people like games where you're not tested based on like the strength of your arm or how fast you can run, but a game which has to do with, how fast you can think and how well you can, react mentally to different situations.
Game's been going strong for 30 years. I think it's safe to say that the game is doing well.
So Finkel's lands are piling up in his hand.
So I think Finkel is going to attempt to get to the 6-mana Whisper.
Game.
Too bad.
Which of course would be
Ophidian.
If Long had Final Fortune.
Does he play the Ophidian?
He has to. You have to go. You have to go for the Ophidian. Now, I think the main reason why it's important is Finkel knows that if Long had a Pyroblast for the Ophidian, Finkel could then Hydroblast it.
Yeah.
Now, this is an interesting situation where if Long just decides to act like Finkel doesn't have counters, he'd be right, and Finkel could be in trouble.
What could he do?
And then he can still meditate safely, although every hit with an Ophidian's bad at this point, but if he just gets a Pyro...
That seems like that would be insane, though.
What is Finkel on his upkeep here?
Yeah, Finkel's untapped. Just thinking about Hydroblasting the Ophidian. What's going on? Oh, okay.
I think Long's going to abeyance him.
Okay, so he can't draw a card with Ophidian. Take one.
Tings.
Bam!
Whispers of the Muse, wow.
This is pretty interesting. Finkel
Long
just needs Long to not get a squandered in his next couple of cards, and then Finkel can really be in control, I think.
Yeah, as soon as Finkel gets a counterspell in hand, I'd imagine his comfort in this match would increase dramatically. Gets Prosperity, Swamp. Actually, is that Power Sync? Impulse? Okay, it's Power Sync. What will he be keeping? It's Impulse.
He kept it.
So for all those people that read the Dojo articles out there, that's how Mike Long Impulse is.
For those of you who don't know, the Dojo was a Magic news strategy articles kind of website way back in the day. It was like the premier website for people to go to and get their strategy from. Unfortunately, it no longer is available. You might need to go through the Wayback Machine in order to find the Dojo. But I remember spending a lot of time on the Dojo, just reading people's articles. It was like Channel Fireball before Channel Fireball existed.
Still no counterspell, but still no counterspell. Finkel, I'm sure, will impulse here to try to get a counter.
As soon as he has a
but
counter.
Maybe he just wants to whisper. I don't know.
He's impulsing.
I mean, he would, yeah, he would, and he does impulse. So.
Oh, it's Dancing Scimitar. There's Forbid. Two Forbids. Wow.
Ooh.
So now things are interesting, and this is exactly the thing we said Finkel had to do to win. He has to just get gutsy, cast out Ophidian, and hope for the best, and that's exactly what happened.
Wow, it's practically a lock right here already.
I mean, he still has one scary turn here where he can't forbid twice, though.
Pyroblast, City of Solitude. A lot of good cards.
City of Solitude is pretty good.
Can you go Abeyance City?
He does not have a land to go Abeyance City.
Yeah, he may draw one, though.
He may draw one.
What would be the card to keep?
Now he thinks he takes City of Solitude, which I think is probably the right play.
Definitely. You can assume that Finkel has...
That was such a fun deck.
Finkel's going to have some scary turn coming up right here.
Draw a land?
Oh,
there's a land.
Oh, boy.
Well, it looks like City of Solitude will get into play.
That was really bad for John.
But then again, we'll see. Do you think Mike Long may cast Abeyance first, and then
I would imagine
cast Abeyance and then chicken out and not cast the city if it's countered?
Listen to the peanut gallery back there.
So I would imagine that Mike Long will cast the bans and John Finkel will forbid it with buyback.
What are the cards he's going to discard here?
Forbid. Buyback.
Hydro and Whispers?
Okay.
Oh, Trade and Rider. Okay, so he does it with Whisper and Trade and Rider. Well, the Trade and Rider apparently did have an impact on the game. Whoa.
Now, will Mike Long cast City of Solitude?
Yeah, this is the big question. Is he going to... Well, he played...
And
yeah,
yes, he will.
He's got guts.
This is really bad.
Boom.
There's a city.
Some good.
You can't really read
God.
it, but City of Solitude basically makes it so you
through.
can't counter spells.
Wow.
Finkel needs to capsize in his next couple cards.
Your turn.
That Ophidian's got work to do. Draw.
Island, not going to do it.
Draw a card. Sure.
Medallion.
Not going to do it.
Wow. Suddenly Finkel's just powerless behind some good again.
Those medallions were so good.
Meditate?
He has to be... If he wants to meditate, it's very risky. It gives Finkel numerous turns with Ophidian.
If you were to meditate and draw land and squander resources, he could definitely win this turn.
Right, but if he meditates and doesn't draw squander resources, he's in severe trouble.
I think he's doing it anyway.
Green, what's my life at?
Blue.
So this is all about whether this is a squandered.
Black. For mana.
Oh, is he casting a natural
Triple
balance?
stone rain, yeah.
Oh, yuck.
Oh, wow.
No, it's not devastating. He'll still be alright if he just capsizes because of the Sapphire Medallion.
Stone Rain.
So long as it's land.
I missed that card.
That's probably the right choice.
Yeah, what do you think
Long.
about casting natural balance?
It's probably the right choice. Meditate's way too risky right now. If he were to meditate and did not get a squandered, Finkel gets multiple turns with Whispers and Ophidian going.
Yeah, it's ugly. So funny how mono blue is so...
Seeing the way that these players are playing this game and like their vocal cadence and their composure against each other, it reminds me so much of that episode of South Park, Cock Magic, and how accurate South Park was in how Magic tournaments are played. Also, look at how deep he's bending that card. Fucking stop that. Stop that right now.
So powerless against City of Solitude, though.
That's the point of the card.
Yeah.
Basically. I mean, that's the essence of what it's meant to do. Finkel had that turn. We said that's exactly what he didn't need to happen. It's exactly what did happen. His numerous cards, if he has a counterspell or a mana leak or one more land or anything, and it
He draws Quicksand.
still no
Attack with
capsize.
Ophidian.
I'll look to draw cards. Sure.
Still no
Another
capsize.
Medallion. Whisper with buyback.
Sapphire Medallion? Sure.
Finkel's drawing 3 cards a turn. How long will it take for him to draw capsize?
Still
Under
no
Island.
capsize.
Draw Squander.
Cadaverous Bloom.
You can just chuck that into play.
The weakness of John's sideboard is really showing this game, I think.
Yeah. Hydroblast, just don't cut it.
Hydroblast does not counter Cadaverous Bloom.
So basically this game's over next turn.
Finkel has a
Finkel has
turn to draw a
a
capsize.
turn. Otherwise, Mike Long draws about 30 cards.
But if he draws a capsize, he
Tradewind Rider? Or is that Silver Wyvern?
See, discarding the I don't even understand discarding the Tradewind now. Like, if he had a Tradewind out this whole time, this game would be very different also. Because now he would be able to bounce.
No Whisper without buyback.
Yeah, he's very smart. They Whispers without buyback, knowing he's got 1 turn to go. He's got his last chance is the Furnace. Does he have enough mana to... Okay, if he draws capsize here, he can capsize without
still have a
buyback and
forbid
still
up.
be able to forbid.
But
You hadn't already laid land? No, you're right. Okay, sorry.
Remove your
Something.
abeyance.
Sure. Which one?
Draw a card.
See the capsize. Is it there?
So we need a capsize to make this
Or
game
does
interesting.
Mike Long win this match?
This is actually one.
Another
Medallion.
Sapphire Medallion.
Mana in my pool, correct?
Yeah, Finkel knows it's over already.
Meditate. Is that cool?
So I'll certainly be interested to hear from Finkel after this match to see if he thinks it was a mistake.
Yeah, that's true.
4.
Finkel has a very analytical mind for games. It's interesting to walk up and talk to him after a game that you've played. I do that very frequently and talk to him about a situation that may have come up because he's able to dissect a scenario very quickly and tell you what might have been the better play and so on. And it'll be interesting to ask him about this particular situation and see what he was thinking.
Okay, no floating mana except for the green. Just the 2. Just the 2 green. Squander, my favorite island in the world. Good island.
He's showing everyone the island.
Mike Long shows us the portal island.
3. Pay another turn. Meditate. So you're probably going to beat me up really bad next turn. 4.
So this game is really over.
Guess what, guys? We get to go through this again. The game of Magic means a great deal to John Finkel. We asked him why.
Yeah, I really like the competitiveness of Magic. I mean, there are very few times in like anyone's life where they can be like one of the best in the world at something. So I'm really glad that I've had this opportunity.
Insightful.
Well, maybe Long will end this quickly now that it's the match. There's no reason to do any further damage to John Finkel's ego at this point.
Good. Game over.
4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26.
I think Finkel, if he kept the trade win, this whole game could go the other way.
Okay, I'm going to empty.
Look at how
He's
resigned
going to
Finkel
empty
is
the
right there.
coffers.
That's 2.
Like he
4,
knows
6,
what's
8,
coming.
10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42. 42
It's
black
like,
mana to
just
my mana pool.
go on, do your thing, bro.
Cast a drain life upon you. Okay. In response. Tap and squander this in response. Pyroblast both of your
creatures.
Jesus. In response, be a jerk.
John, I really hope you make the team.
Oh my god.
Okay, so that's the match. Mike Long wins the match 3-1 against John Finkel.
Tension.
What a game.
Third
What a
round
game.
Consolation matches. Winning meant at least $8,000 and a slot on the national team. Losing meant walking away with nothing. David Price played Bryce Currents. Price put up a good fight winning the first game, but his deck, Dead Guy Red, didn't have a chance against Currents' deck, Stupid Green. Currents won the match 3-1.
Stupid Green wins again.
John Finkel versus Andrew Pacifico paired the slow-controlling Forbidian against Pacifico's quick-hitting Sly. It was a back-and-forth battle, ending in the dramatic 5th game, where Finkel took the match 3-2.
So you may not know the term Sly. Sly was basically what Red Deck Wins was. It's like Sly was a mono-red, very aggressive, burn-heavy deck named after the person who created it, a guy whose last name was Sly. But then like the game kind of evolved and the deck just kind of started being ubiquitously known as Red Deck Wins.
The final showdown pits Mike Long's Prosperous Bloom against Matt Lindy's White Weenie deck and heavily favors the junior player. Matt Lindy has dispatched several Bloom decks already and has to be feeling confident. Combine 5 main deck enchantment defense with 4 cataclysms and you'll have no trouble seeing why Lindy's deck
White
has the
Weenie
advantage.
versus Cadaverous
But
Bloom.
Mike Long is a master Bloom player, many say the best, so don't count him out. Lindy has the superior deck, but Long has the experience. This should be quite a match. Matt Lindy is a relative newcomer to the Nationals experience, and he's made it all the way to the
Why
finals.
is Mike
we
sitting
talked to
like
him
that?
earlier.
This is my first Nationals, and it was pretty neat to play against like some of the best people. There's no better competition in the world. It's an honor to play in such a high caliber tournament. Well, I played.
Again, just check the fashion of the 90s. It was such a different time.
White this tournament, but usually I play blue. It's got fast creatures and then back it up with like counter spells, and so there's like a balance. It's not all offense, it's not all defense. I try to be aggressive, I don't like sitting back. I like to take the initiative and start attacking them.
White Weenie was pretty good back in the day.
I think about my moves a lot before I do them because I don't want to make any mistakes. Well,
Smart.
since I did good in this tournament, I get to go to Worlds, so I guess I'm going to be preparing for that for a while. Try to help the U.S. team win the team competition.
No. Lindy's opening hand is a bunch of 2 casting cost creatures, a tie, the planes, and 2 Imperial Armors.
It's pretty good.
Well, he's got 1 win, but he also has the tithe, so he can dig himself out of that hole.
Squander Resources,
Vampiric Tutor,
Emerald Charm, I think. Emerald Charm, a natural balance, and some card that's very shiny. Swamp. Main phase tithe.
Main phase tithe to avoid a disrupt, maybe?
I guess so.
I'd like to point out that tithe did target Mike Long.
It did.
So now we're going to see some sort of 2-caster.
I think that's a proxy.
Matters very little versus Mike what 2-caster it is. He goes for the shadow. In case of Wall of Blossom.
Notice
checks an
the
armor on that. If he
use
draws a
of
land and
proxies in a
armor's up.
professional tournament.
It's going to be hard for Mike Long to race that.
Mike has a very good hand. I don't think it's going to be that hard for him to race it.
Don't cast.
There's a tithe. Which will get him another planes into play, then he'll cast another creature. But I don't think this is going to be fast enough. Long's hand is unbelievable.
Yeah, does Long have the entire combo in his hand already? Is he missing Cadaverous Bloom?
He has a natural balance, a Vampiric Tutor, a Squandered Resources.
Vampiric Tutor?
Yep.
You'll never guess what I'm gonna get.
I've got an idea.
Gloom? Is he going to tutor for Gloom, Chris?
I don't know. He might just get Cadaverous Bloom. No, he gets Gloom.
He gets some good Gloom.
Some good was a phrase that people used to use, specifically in Magic. It was not used anywhere else, at least not that I know of. But people would always say, that's some good, and then whatever the card was.
So Gloom here may just seal the fate. He already has an Emerald Charm, which would kill the Aura of Silence anyway.
No, I'm ruining the camera ambiance here.
Yeah, Gloom will keep armor off of his back and buy him at least 3 more turns under the shadows.
Where's your card?
Wait, I think this is the card right here. Yeah, that is.
You think?
I brought the pen.
What? Look, that's harassment. That's harassment.
Okay.
So this is very much looking like Mike Long is going to be
the pen.
U.S. national champion.
So good. God.
Some good Gloom.
There's Gloom.
Okay, so I know that the footage is grainy and kind of garbage. If you don't know what Gloom was, it was an amazing card against white. It basically means that whenever an opponent or tries to play like a white card, they have to play 3 more mana to play any card. So against a white weenie deck, this card is just obliteration.
He's done.
All right, Lindy needs some planes fast.
Matt Lindy is someone in a position of just happy to be here, so you can tell he's not very upset at losing, but
there's 1 planes.
Soul Warden could come out, but I just hit you before.
Sorry, what am I at?
Done.
Does he have everything in his hand right now?
He does not have a Cadaverous Bloom.
And he has Meditate and Contract?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
He doesn't have blue mana right now either.
I love the commentary from the Peanut Gallery.
Okay, life tells are what? Long at 10? Lindy
Long
at 20?
is not low enough. Lindy can't cast anything in his hand. Long's at 8.
Green mana.
Green.
Yeah, I think Long is not happy about his 4 forests, though.
Bust him down. Almost could.
Yeah, he's looking pretty green heavy.
There's Abeyance. Bash.
That's every forest in Mike Long's
4?
deck. Maybe he'll sack him and forget he needs a green to cast Bloom. Which I did at Regional.
Wow. Very impressive.
Oh.
Well, you know what may happen here? He may have to cast Natural Balance and he may get Abeyance by Lindy before he can even do anything. Draw an island.
Yeah.
Or a Bloom.
Is that a gemstone mine?
No, it's an emerald charm.
Emerald charm.
Okay, he has to balance, which means he's going to get abalanced in response to as soon as the balance evolve.
That is unreal.
He wins. Lindy will win this game.
That is absolutely unbelievable. I cannot believe that Lindy
is going to win.
Is going to win this game.
Well, especially after that turn 3 gloom.
He has an abeyance in his hand. Are you 100% certain of this
100%
fact?
certain.
Please do not
Right
get
side
my
of his
hopes
hand.
up.
The right side of his hand is an abeyance.
Unbelievable. A game that looked so over that the crowd thought the game was over. We thought the game was over. Mike Long thought the game was over. I think Mike Long needs to borrow the pen again.
Some bad. Write it all over his forest.
Yep.
Did Mike Long leave green in his pool?
Oh my god. And dude out in the peanut gallery yells, "Write some good on abeyance." Oh my god.
Okay, I'm not letting land.
Okay, so all he has to do is abeyance him in response to the first spell that he
Yeah,
casts.
it's abeyance in response to anything.
Which is probably meditate. He better do it though. That's the question. He still has to do it.
I think he knows. If he doesn't abeyance him, I will personally
Jason Gordon,
crush him.
Jason Gordon did not counterspell. Wait, up there it is. He says
Here it
stop.
comes.
Here it comes.
Here it comes.
Better.
Happy birthday, Mike.
Good game. Oh!
Get abeyanced. GG.
Game 5.
Mike Long has definite ideas about magic.
Mike Long. I prefer Michael Long. Magic has unlimited potential. It's the most amazing game that's ever been created. The possibilities are limitless.
I would agree with you there. I would agree with you that Magic is a truly amazing game. I believe a couple years ago, it actually got qualified by MIT as the world's most complex game, and I 100% believe it.
Winning it, I'm gonna go into the finals and I'm gonna play my very, very best. As long as my draws come up all right, I should get a decent chance. The future holds, I don't know, nothing but great things. I mean, Magic is going to be the biggest thing in the world. Kids everywhere should play this game. It's a great game. It's a smart game. Gets them away from the TV. Gets them thinking. It'll
agree 100%.
So it's come down to one final game to decide the championship between Mike Long and Matt Lindy.
Nothing.
All right, what you
Opening
got, boys?
draw is Infernal Contract, Emerald Charm, Island, Gloom, Vampiric Tutor, and
He's got Gloom in the open.
Ooh, not a good draw. His draw, double Cataclysm. That's Soltari Priest, Soul Warden, Warrior Anchor, and 2 planes. Certainly playable. They both have playable draws.
Go ahead.
And there's an advance. Soul Warden.
Soul Warden.
Yeah.
Things
Clock
going.
starts. Long draws. Island. Oh boy. Okay, Long needs black mana more than anything in the world.
He has a power sync, so he can hold off the beating for a while.
So
and he's going to power
sometimes
sync
U.S.
this for
national
one.
championships are decided by like little things.
Like swamps.
Knocks on this deck.
Draw a swamp.
Nope.
Oh boy.
Was it? Not you
Good.
needed.
Or what?
Upkeep draw, whatever.
Oh boy.
Still no black mana for Mike Long.
He's got another priest and a warrior.
Well, bear in mind also, Mike is playing like a 4-colored deck there. It's like so the chances of drawing the right mana at the right time aren't that hot, especially for Magic back in the day when there really weren't a whole lot of dual lands to utilize.
So this is all about the race to any of the 14 black or
14
13 black mana sources Mike Long has in his deck.
Yeah.
Does he draw one? Gloom!
Gloom
Oh, the
number 3.
irony of this. 3 glooms in hand and no mana to cast them with.
Look at that.
Yeah, go.
He's still got time.
There's not enough pressure on though right now. Is that the Aura of Silence? We're in good shape. Oh, there's Emerald Charm in Mike Long's hand. He does not have an aura.
Lindy's getting kind of excited here. That takes Long down to 15 life. All right, 3 turns to draw black mana.
No,
It's
Bloom.
not it.
Oh my
It's
god.
not it. He's gonna have to discard one of those glooms.
Discards a Gloom.
Some bad.
Mm.
Abandons during upkeep.
It doesn't stop Gloom,
I
unfortunately.
know.
Cast another creature.
No reason to cast anything. He has a disenchant in his hand.
Oh,
He can't kill him. He can't kill him next turn. He has a disenchant in hand.
All right, very true. He should be done.
just say done.
Okay. Oh no.
City of Brass.
There's a problem.
He's finally got that
One
black
more
mana
turn
he needs.
for you, Mike. Now the question is, does he hold back in Vampiric Tutor at the end of the turn and get? What could he possibly get? Does he have natural balance in hand?
Then he gets a ban.
Then he gets advanced.
Yeah.
Lindy has armor in hand now, so armor comes down one of those creatures and Long dies immediately.
Mike Long,
if he casts,
is very likely dead.
He has to cast Gloom.
He has to cast Gloom, untap, and hope.
And draw what?
Squander?
Possibly draw. Squander resources? But he'd have no mana. He can't do anything with it.
He can kind of do not that much.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any way that Long can mathematically win this game? He doesn't have Lotus Petals.
I have to see his entire hand. I don't know what his entire hand is. Yeah, he has a Bloom. Pants. He does not have it. He does not have. He doesn't have another land.
He doesn't have another land, so he can't draw Squander resources and a land in the next draw phase.
Well, all right. All right, I guess he can. But
probably not going to pull that off. Okay, I don't think there's any way that Long can win this.
Going into the think tank.
Interesting enough, neither player is saying a word here.
So once again, whenever a relative unknown wins a major Magic tournament, it's with White Weenie.
Could sort of possibly be if I had a Dark Ritual in my deck. Hammer would be very happy.
I only played 2 in my Boom deck.
You played 2 Dark Rituals? Hush.
Lindy's now toying with Long.
Yeah, Lindy just said that
he had Dark Rituals in his Bloom deck.
They're so good. First turn Gloom.
You suppose those guys are going to be attacking next turn?
I think so.
This guy's looking pensive. Why don't we just put him over here?
Maybe.
Highly potential.
He's going to hang out.
Okay.
Just put him back here.
Okay.
That over there.
He'll be like.
Sure.
Ooh, what happened to my Sultari Monk?
Love the levity.
I'd like to say that I'd like the crowd to take into consideration you can't go crazy with disappointment when Mike Long isn't national champion. Please no rioting. Leave the chairs where they are. Long's doing the math, but I don't think it's going to get him anywhere.
Anything. There's no cards left.
Matt Lindy wins a quick $25,000.
Nah.
He doesn't even
good.
cast.
Pretty good winnings.
Doesn't even cast Gloom.
Go ahead. I mean, if you want to go on, because you know.
Armor, mash.
Think he'll forget the priest is there? Because that would be unreal.
Verdant Touch buyback.
Bastard.
He doesn't armor.
He didn't armor.
I guess he just knows he can advance
yeah.
during upkeep.
Oh, he does have the power sink. That's true.
Here you go.
Long thinks tutor.
Long is just backed into a corner right now.
Long says, "What can I tutor for? A Black Lotus."
He's certainly not going to meditate.
Probably not.
Highly
The
doubtful.
Bance is so powerful against Bloom.
It is.
It's like it's its biggest friend and its biggest enemy.
Yep. Look at his hand. Disenchant, disenchant, abeyance, and an Ice Age Plains.
Oh, hush.
Liddy says, I might have an upkeep effect.
You have her tutor during your discard phase. Pay 3 life on it too. Or I think it's point damage and then pay 2 life.
City Brass, man.
Tutor for Dread of Night, cast it. Oh wait, he doesn't have that.
That's true.
Whoops.
Dread of Night would get disenchanted though.
What? It would still kill all 3
yeah,
creatures.
It would still kill all the creatures.
And Lindy has no more creatures in his hand.
Dread of Night would be good.
He doesn't have a warrior in core.
Dread of Night was an enchantment. I believe it was only a single black to play, and it gave all white creatures -1/-1, and it just stayed on the table. So that actually would save him in this moment. It'd be a lot better than Gloom.
In fact, if Long had 3 Dread of Nights this game instead of 3 Glooms, I think he would probably win.
I know what you got by that.
It's very possible. But there's another game where we aren't sure what would have happened if he had.
I still think Dread of Nights better. Imagine that. Those 3 Glooms are 3 Dread of Nights.
Untap.
Untap.
Upkeep.
Draw. Oh, look at it. What is it?
Why is he not advancing
Why is he
right
not
now?
advancing him?
Point for black, point for green, place Wanderer.
Advance in response?
Just advance it already.
One.
Advance it before something horrid happens.
Nothing horrid can happen.
I
now.
know, but
He can't even natural balance. Can't do
I would
anything.
advanced him 20 minutes ago.
Blue.
It's not a good deal here, Mike.
Wanderer. Wanderer.
Throws the land away.
Meditate.
Advantage response.
Sure.
Good game. Disenchant the score on a resource.
Disenchant square.
Just in case.
That's about it.
That's a brutal
We've all
game.
been waiting for.
Matt Lindy is national
Matt
champion.
Lindy is national champion.
Sometimes White Weenie just wins.
You were so close to that, dude.
Yeah. Join the U.S. team as they travel to Seattle, Washington to compete in the 1998 World Championships. Watch all the action on ESPN2.
Look at that.
Matt Lindy collects $25,000 as the winner of the 1998 U.S. Nationals. Second place and a check for $15,000 goes to Mike Long.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 1998 U.S. national team. Congratulations.
Look at those
Ladies and
look at those prize pools. First place got 25, second place got 15, third got 10, and fourth got 8. That's some pretty good prize support for 1998. That's really good.
Gentlemen, the 1998 U.S. national team. Congratulations, gentlemen.
This is a great feeling for me. I got 3 great team members. I mean, I couldn't be more excited going into World Championships.
I don't know. I think it's really set in yet. I mean, it's a lot to take in.
We just want to thank all our
all the
teammates
people
and the
who
people
helped
that worked
us.
together. You know, you can see everyone here had strong community.
The accomplishment that we have here is not just a reflection of our own work. It's the work of everyone that we've played with in the last years, couple years. You know, it takes a lot for just one person to get to this level.
We are going to be prepared and
we got teams. We're going to back it up. It's one thing to talk it. We're going to walk it.
Oh. Talk the talk, walk the walk. Oh my god. That was such a trip down memory lane. That was a lot of fun. Okay, so the rest of the video is just black screen. So I do want to say real quick, I thank you to this YouTuber, Jose Miguel Palma Contreras, for putting this video up online so that we could actually watch it tonight, because otherwise I'd be pointing a camera at my television watching this on a VHS player, because I do still have the VHS, but I don't have this available online. So thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to watch that. So yeah, that was pretty fun.